availability, we had given them N plus N redundancy for their UPS as well as their cooling requirements. What was the result? How it transpired is customer feedback. They were really happy about it. Believe me, we built for same customer around 2 years back. We built a 40 rack data center, a traditional way. But now when we approach them, they're simply saying that we want to have a smart requirements going forward, and that is we are accommodating that request. Second is a pharmaceutical company, leading pharmaceutical company. They are basically coming up in Guwahati. So what happened is US, there are a lot of regulations, lot of these pharmaceutical companies send material to the global markets, and there is a lot of inspections that they undergo. They wanted to have it in Guwahati. That was, they felt that they may have a lot of challenge in implementing those. What we offered is, we offered them this solution where we gave them 6 rack solution with 20 kilowatt, because the load was not that high. And then you see here, because it is manufactured at factory and assembled at site, even in Guwahati, we could deliver. And you will be surprised to see, we implemented it in flat 6 weeks. And 1 week time it took just to deliver the material from Mumbai to Guwahati. So that means effectively within 5 weeks, we could complete the stuff. Planning to roll out 2 more smart data centers in next 3 to 4 months time. That is the outcome of this activity. So there are a lot of such things happening. We thought we will share these things with you so that you can understand where we come from. But what is more important, I feel, is as a customer, you sharing your requirements with us. That is most important thing what we feel. Now, so we will be here. My team is here. Our zonal team is here behind, and we can be all here for any of the queries that you can have. I'll take 2 more minutes for a small announcement what we have to make here. Basically, we feel this is a customer forum, and we need to share all these developments that are happening. From the Immersion is becoming, so you see our standees outside. We are announcing that Immersion Network Power is becoming Vertiv. So Vertiv is going to be our new name, but there is going to be some time gap. But we have started that transition, and Vertiv is basically a new company, but it is Immersion Network Power's entire product portfolio will be thermal management, power management, that is UPS, the other products like transfer switches, services of all these product lines, then the IT management part, KVM switches, the LCD console, the intelligent PDU, the data center infrastructure management. Entire stuff is going to be available under this brand going forward. These are the flagship brands, that is ASCO, the transfer switches between the typical electricity board power to the diesel generator kind of alternate source. You take Chloride, which is the industrial UPS range. You have Libert, where we have IT application UPS and precision air conditioners that go into it. We have NetSure, which is a DC power solutions for most of the telecom companies that operate in most of our mobiles. Whatever the transmission happens basically is through these kind of DC power systems that all these telecom players deploy. Trellis, Trellis is one of the leading data center infrastructure solution. This is the world leader, and the best thing from that aspect is it is converging IT as well as the infrastructure monitoring at one single console. So these are the brands that are going to be with Vertiv. So there is no much change at all between Immersion Network Power's delivery offering and the Vertiv delivery offering. What we are going to basically, this was announced on 2nd of August 2016. We have already started the process of regulatory filings and all those stuffs that are required. We expect to complete it in 4 to 6 months. The target date is 31st of December 2016. So that is where our standees talk about now Immersion Network Power and Vertiv by 2017. So what we are also assuring, headquarter will be at Columbus. Scott Barber, who is our current CEO, will be the president and CEO of the new company. We are assuring one thing is customers can expect seamless transition and our continued commitment to all our products, solutions, and the future projects that we wish to take with you. That is one of the commitment that company is giving, because there is no change as such apart from the name. This entire staff, the entire product line, entire management team remains the same. One of the point I would like to highlight, which is, this is our vision. Our vision is going to the world where the critical technologies always work. Because we understand that your decisions are having consequences. Your data centers depend on something which is a passive infrastructure that Emerson supports. So our commitment remains, and our vision is world where critical technologies always work. So this is a transition. So you will see always this is, we are announcing the transition. We talk about Emerson Network becoming Vertiv. And I thought this is one of the good forum to share this information. We request your continued support. Our commitment remains to give the seamless transition and continued commitment to all your installations and new projects that are coming. Thanks.
Thank you. That is Mr. Santosh Kulkarni, Country Manager, Business Development, Smart Solutions, Emerson. And we are taking a break for tea.
Has impacted the way businesses approach data center infrastructure design and deployment.
Of our panel discussion, defining the technology roadmap for smart Indian enterprise, by inviting the panelists on stage. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. S. Gopal Swamy as he joins us on stage. Mr. Gopal Swamy is the Category Manager, HPE Servers. Mr. Anup Nair, can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Anup Nair, Regional Manager, System Engineering, VMware. Mr. Santosh Kulkarni, Country Manager, Business Development, Smart Solutions, Emerson. Can we hear it nice and loud for Mr. Kulkarni? And for Mr. Sanjay Achawal, Executive Director, Ingram Micro. Can we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And the moderator for this session is Mr. Rajneesh De, Group Editor, Cyber Media. Please get your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for the panelists as they join us on stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Afternoon, right. Before I get to the panelists, I would like to ask the assembled CIOs here a fundamental question. The theme we are talking about during the day is the journey towards digital enterprise, a smart enterprise, digital enterprise, how enterprises are undergoing a digital transformation. So where this movement towards the digital enterprise is happening, every journey, every roadmap has its own challenges, its own issues, its own bottlenecks. So it would be great, before I put my questions to the panelists, if there are any feedback or ideas from the CIOs in terms of what they have experienced or witnessed as biggest challenge or bottleneck in this digital transformation journey in their organization, and what sort of expectations they have from the vendors who sort of guide them in this journey, digital transformation. Anyone from the audience? You are representing different sort of verticals with their own dynamics and own challenges. So in your digital transformation, any major issues or bottlenecks you have been facing, and anything where vendors can make that journey smoother? Okay, so looks the audience is a bit shy, and once the vendors give their feedback, there might be questions forthcoming. So this digital transformation journey, what we have been talking, the precursor to this debate has a long debate which has always prevailed in enterprises, that how do you look at IT, whether it's a cost center or a profit center within an organization, and IT itself as a business. So the IT transformation, whether it's or a business transformation. So what is the sort of is there a connection between the two, or do enterprises look at them as silos? So since now we are talking about this digital transformation, I would like to first put the question to HP, to that this IT transformation, digital transformation, how would you define it? Is it a business transformation or is it an IT transformation?
Actually, we are seeing a lot of changes happening in the business today, right? If you look at it, there's a complete change in the ecosystem, how the business is running today. So we are moving towards something called idea economy, right? And this idea economy, what actually changes is your traditional business model changes to a much more idea-driven business model. So if you ask me, the business transformation is the key process which will enable the digital transformation in the organization. But then if you will put forward a question, then what is the role of IT? So you cannot achieve digital transformation without making sure that your IT transformation is perfect. So IT transformation is the first step to get into a digital transformation mode, and the IT transformation is going to be very, very key, because it is going to be aligned with the business goals of an enterprise. So if you ask the first question, like when you relate to the first question, IT is more a cost center or something. Earlier, IT was considered as a cost center. But with this idea economy coming into place and the digital transformation happening in the enterprise today, where the IT is aligned with the business goals, IT will be more like a revenue generation organization. Because without IT, you cannot run an enterprise today. And without an IT, you don't know like where we were in the business yesterday, where we are today, and where we are going to be tomorrow. So the first step of digital transformation is going to be IT transformation, and then we move to the business transformation and then get into digital transformation.
So I'll come back to you later on what HP is doing to sort of facilitate this IT transformation as well as a business transformation. I'll come to the cloud journey is an important component of this digital transformation, and as we know, any cloud journey starts with the virtualization platform, and you have been sort of if I may use the word in a positive connotation, monopolizing the virtualization market so this and also this cloud is one part of this entire the SMAC stack that we talk about as part of this digital transformation, whether be it social, mobility or analytics. So as a organization which guides the enterprises like here in their virtualization journey and ultimately to their cloud journey, what would be your advice for CIOs here, and what sort of hand-holding role would VMware play in helping them this transformation?
Yeah, let me relate back to the session which we had earlier here, which Suresh did. If you have seen what he was presenting, he was talking about software-defined environment completely. So the cloud journey started with that, and we recently entered our VMworld, and our CEO Pat G spoke about what happened in 2006 and what is happening today, 10 years later. In 2006, we had 98% of our workloads completely private, traditional IT, I would say. Everything was traditional IT, everything was happening inside data center. And there was only 2% which was on the cloud. When I say cloud, it can be any sort of cloud, hybrid cloud, public cloud, but that 2% was a new company which started up at that time, which was Salesforce.com. Then 5 years from there, 2011, it became 80% which was traditional IT and 10% on the cloud. But today, it is again moving. Today, 2060, again 5 years down the line, today we are 75% traditional IT, till we have traditional IT, and there are some 20%, almost 20% which is on the cloud part. And to have a 50-50 range, it will be till 2030 that this 50-50 thing will happen. So what you're saying is that we started this journey about software-defined environment to make sure that company can get into digital business. When you talk about digital business, it's all about how software controls the environment. If you see the examples which we have taken in the session earlier, in the VMware session which we had, it talks about we started with the compute virtualization, and that was a big radical change which happened in the data center itself. We could bring the massive data centers to tiny environments within the data center itself. And then we saw that, okay, that was a big change, and how can you replicate that change with the other assets in the data center itself? That's how the concept of software-defined environment or software-defined data center came into picture. So we went ahead and did software-defined for storage, network, and then we have something which can overlay across everything what's happening inside data center. And when that became a reality, private cloud was a reality, then people wanted to become how we can explode this to a public environment also, and still manage both the environments together. That means you sit in one environment and still control your private area as well as a public area and define whatever you want to do inside the environment. Today we speak about Ubers, we speak about Airbnb, we speak about Tesla. All these guys are like, they just built what? Tesla is what? It's just software on wheels. Uber is what? Just an app, but they're a $70 billion+ company. It's all because the software, what they stepped into the software environment, they were able to get into that growth which they are today. GE, they used to do outsourcing of IT. Today they are doing insourcing of IT. I was speaking to one of the biggest BPO company here in India, and they want to change the face of how they're looking into, or customers look into them. They acquired a company which was completely to analytics, and they had some 1,000 developers coming to the environment, creating applications for them. If they want to survive in next 10 or 15 years, they need to get into the digital business. And how they can be done only with software.
So you're talking about the software-defined environment, there are all the pillars of computing, storage, the networking, all have to move to a software-defined environment, and then that integration. So how much do you see within Indian enterprises that happening already?
It is. So if you see, that's our bread and butter, if you ask me also, and we basically thrive and request customer or go and customers and say that this is how your environment should look into. We basically advise them that how they should look into what are the baby steps they should take to get into the software environment. The startup is doing the compute virtualization and then looking at other assets like storage, network, other things and all. So it is happening. I would say as of today, it is 30% in India, it is done, but there are customers who are still stuck to the traditional environment. They are not able to move forward, but if they get still stuck over there, they will not be getting into a digital business environment at all, and they will not be surviving next 5 years.
Okay. So I'll get back to further on the journey. Coming to you, Santosh, we have heard from HP who has been talking about the servers and the hardware, the virtualization journey. Now comes another important aspect. Now, this digital transformation, what that translates into that in terms of data center infrastructure, be it third party or in-house, that is an imperative. Now, every enterprises will have its resources either in an in-house data center or in an third party one. So data center, when we talk about sort of our mindset goes into the IT infrastructure, the active IT infrastructure. We talk about the servers, the storage, the networking and all these things. But I would say maybe equally or even more critical is sort of the passive infrastructure and where you play a major role. So in terms of helping the CIOs who are now maintaining their data centers, either outsourced or in-house, and in terms of the passive infrastructure maintenance, so what would be your sort of advice or guidance towards enterprises today?
Yeah, this is a very important point he touched upon, that when we talk about the IT or data center, we focus more about storage, the other devices, the computing devices and all that. We started seeing this small change in the way people address it, just about something. A very positive change started happening around 2011-12, where maybe we also started responding to that change, is we started seeing someone from IT team also coming and sitting on a next chair maybe he was still a silent observer. It is 2011 story I'm talking. And that is after that, maybe another 2 years, we launched Smart Solutions. So we started seeing that small transition happening. Because what happens is it's basically a user who is IT department. A facility team is basically on their behalf building entire this UPS infrastructure or a cooling infrastructure and all those things. So this is a very, very positive thing that is happening in the industry. Still there naturally facility people are required and they do play a major role in sizing the requirements properly. But from the CIO side of it, what we are looking at is they are getting involved. And one thing is the two gentlemen who spoke about the changes that are happening. Let me tell you, virtualization, that VMware, we must thank them in a way, because once virtualization came, they reduced the number of servers from maybe 20, 30, 40 servers. They came down to 8, 9, 10 servers in a typical server room. And that change cannot go without you do some changes in your infrastructure to house those servers. The entry of a blade server has changed the heat load, concentrated heat loads. So there are a lot of changes. So what we are, if I have to tell or request some of the help from the IT teams, is that as there is a lot of change that is happening in your IT environment, we all are there from Immersion side to support you to get your infrastructure, passive infrastructure aligned with that. And one more point before I